celebrating a football legend. Are you a football fan? Have you ever watched the final seconds of an NFL football game and you see the quarterback take the snap and he's methodically planning his every move? He's looking at his offense and he's trying to see where exactly the hole is. And it seems like in slow motion he's actually just barely moving and you're like counting down the seconds. And he snaps the pass, it lands perfectly in the receiver's hands, and boom, they got a touchdown. It's like I said before, it's like slow motion, and they make it look so easy. And that was Joe Montana for me. Joe Montana was one of the best quarterbacks I have ever watched in football, and I still have a little nostalgia over that. It always makes it look so impressive and so easy. In 1979, a legend was born. Joe Montana joined the San Francisco 49ers, and history was made. One point, Joe was great under pressure. Second point, Joe set many records. Third point, Joe is a 3-time Super Bowl MVP winner. Joe was great under pressure in more ways than one. He began his career at Notre Dame as number 3, but according to the Pearson Education founder, where they gather a lot of information for the public, which provides factual information, is simply based and condensed for the public to review. He was picked 3rd round, which is 81 people after the first pick. He had a lot of things to prove. Not only was he under pressure to perform, he was also under pressure to not be injured. He also had to overcome some deficit along the way. He took that field and started making those passes, and he impressed everybody. And not just his statistics and being a starting quarterback his first year, but also in the fact that he's grace under pressure. He could make everybody calm. He was a good leader. And so all of those things combined means that he was great under pressure. Joe hyperventilated in the final seconds of one of his playoff games. Nobody knew from the sides. He took the snap, was hyperventilating, and managed to drive his team 91 yards in the final seconds of the game for a win. That proves to everybody how calm he can actually be on the field and what great leadership he can provide. It was said by Debbie Miller that the greatest clutch performer in history of the sport was Joe. Joe went on to take the Niners to 4 Super Bowls, receiving 4 Super Bowl rings and 3 MVP titles, making many records. Which brings me to my second point. Joe set many NFL records. Gary Swan, an author from thedepster.com, a site where many stars and officials leave quotes about a particular athlete and their progress. He reported Joe was impeccable, and we all know that. Joe and Jerry spent 6 years together, Jerry Rice. Spent 6 years together. They had 55 scoring passes in the regular season and 13 in the postseason and Super Bowls. Joe was ranked one of the top 4 quarterbacks in NFL history in passes attempted, completed, total passing yards, and touchdown passes, highest percentage of passes completed, and lowest number intercepted. We talked about the 92-yard drive in the Super Bowl 23, for a win in the closing seconds. He was also nominated or selected for the Pro Bowl 8 times, which is a record for a quarterback in history. He led the NFL in passing in 1987 and 1989, and in 1994, when he retired, he was fifth quarterback to pass more than 40,000 yards. At the point of retirement, Joe was ranked 4th in his career in passing yards and 3rd for passing completions of all time. Career passing rate was 92.3. He was ranked 2nd all time. Joe set many records. Point number 3. Joe is a 3-time Super Bowl MVP winner. And yes, he has 4 rings. MVP award is selected by the Associated Press, representatives of the United Press, and also like Sporting News, just to name a few. very reputable sources come together to try and select somebody to become the MVP for these particular games, such as the Super Bowl and many other sports. He was playing in the top of his ranks when he was selected as MVP. He was in the top of his game with many other athletes, and there's a lot of competition here. But when you talk about Joe's leadership and Joe's records that have been set, he totally deserves those MVP awards. 3 out of 4 Super Bowls, and he manages to pull in 3 MVP awards. In 1996, when he retired, in 2000, 4 years after he retired, he was selected to the Hall of Fame for all of his achievements. No quarterback in history has the same accomplishments that Joe has, and no quarterback in history has 3 Super Bowl MVP wins. Not only is he a winner in the Super Bowl with his MVPs, but he's also a winner for his fans and his team with his statistics, his calmness, and his leadership. Joe was a 3-time Super Bowl MVP winner. In conclusion, MVP may be very prestigious and well-earned award for many people. Playing with many of the top athletes, he excelled, and it was more than just prestigious, it was well-deserved. He overcome his stigma of being a 3rd-round draft pick. He presented the world with a magnificent football game, one that will never be forgotten, and one that people can't even compare to yet today. There are great quarterbacks out there, but none have achieved what he has. Throughout his career, we saw greatness, and I am happy that I was able to enjoy that and learn what football was all about. Thank you to my parents and also to Joe Montana. He wore number 16 for many years. Joe was great under pressure. Joe set many records, and Joe was a 3-time MVP Super Bowl winner. To share a quote in closing from Marty Schottenheimer, who was a coach, one of the great NFL coaches, kind of says it all. If the success of a leader of any team is defined in victories, then Joe Montana and his teams he has associated with would be recognized as simply the best.